Hi and welcome to Time to Stamp with Viva's Las Vegas Stamps, and I am Leanne and I am back with a little book this time. So I am using a butt-ton of stamps. Seriously, there's a lot. And I'm just starting off with a 7 Dot Studio pattern page, and I am going to go through and stamp a heap of different stamps on the background. So most of my background stamps are from plate 1471. So I've got the squiggly star, collage, doodle dots, roll chevrons, doodle circle, and writing chevron. And then I've also got the waybill invoice background as well. So I'm just going to go through and I'm just using Memento ink in a London fog, and then a heap of distress ink, so weathered wood, dusty concord, wild honey, tattered rose, and vintage photo. So I'm building up a background because I know that I'm going to make a book out of this one sheet of paper, so I just wanted these things to be, well, in the background. So as you can see, I'm just layering them up. I was a little bit random and then a little bit focused, I suppose you could say, on where I was putting things. And then as you saw, like I put the chevron down earlier and then I did it again. So I have a template there of enough to make the book out of this 12 by 12 page. So first of all, you fold it in fours, and then you fold it in thirds, and then you cut the top part and then a line in the middle, and then you fold it out. Now I folded up and I went, hang on, this isn't working, so I had to get my little guide and go through again, and then voila, worked. So then I'm going to go through and pick out my center focal point images, and then when I stamp these in using Stays On, I have to sort of work it out. So you'll see me continually to fold it back up again, so the middle row has to be stamped upside down so that when it all folds together everything will be the right way up, but you'll see as we go. So this one is the leaves blowing from a tree. A lot of these are Banksy stamps because we all know that I love those. Then we've got Swing Girl, Girl Floating with Balloons, a Marionette Girl. Then I use the Banksy Girl Fishing in a Boat. Oh, that's the last one that in the book is the Dancing Lady, and I thought she was just a perfect way to end the book. So she's not Banksy, but she's pretty cool anyway. Okay, so that's how it's folded up. And then I'm thinking, well, I need to make my cover. So I've just got a blank sheet of paper and I just cut it down to size so that I've got my back cover and my front cover just a little bit bigger than the actual pages of the book. And then I will just cover those in some calico. I'm just going to use just a matte medium to stick it on. And then I know that I'm going to stitch it, so I'm not overly worried about how perfect it is, which I think adds to it anyway. I mean, you can use just a heavier duty cardboard and do it that way, but I quite like the calico look of the book, the front cover. I think it looks really cool. So there you can see I'm just going to stick that down, and then I start using, it was just a Dina Wakley gel medium and it was the soft body one, but then I do switch over to a heavy body one because it actually glues better, if that makes sense. And then I will get out, after I folded these up, I get out some Atelier gesso. It's a really thick heavy body gesso, and then I just scrape it on. I'm not too careful about being smooth and consistent or anything like that. And then I will do the back side of them as well, and then dry them off. And then I go away and I stitch the book and I stitch the covers. And no, I didn't film it because there was a lot of thought in that, and that actually took me ages to do. So yeah, so I just randomly stitched them, stitched all the pages, left all the threads because I really like that. Now to bind them, just to add a bit of support to the book, you don't actually have to do this, but I think it actually just, as I said, helps support it. And it's just a strip of sports tape, so your rock tape or your cheap tape, whatever you can get, and it's quite flexible, so it's really good for this sort of thing. And you just put it on, fold it over, and then just sort of rub your fingers along the spine so it goes into all those indents of the concertina book. So everything's coming along nicely. I'm really enjoying this whole process. So now I'm working out the front and the back cover, so the parts you'll actually see and how they will lie, so that I'm not printing things on and they're upside down and back to front and that sort of stuff. But anyway, so next I just get out a stencil and I'm going to colour it with some FW ink. It's the blue, Brownie Blue, I think it's called. Get out a stencil, and then I've got a wax resist crayon and I'm putting that on there. It doesn't actually work that well, to be honest, I think, because everything wasn't completely dry because I'm so impatient. So yeah, so you can see I just swiped smudged some ink on there. I suppose you could say I wasn't particularly paying too much attention, and then dried it off a bit, and then I'm just going through with all the same stamps that I put on the background before, and pretty much in the same colour order as well, making a background again for my stamps. So, and I want the cover to have the full Marionette girl on it, which I reckon is amazing. I think it's good. And then on the back I've used the Handmade with Heart stamp. I thought that was pretty cool, and also I've put the word "You are beautiful," the sentiment in there. So a lot of my work, if you look at it, does have a lot of words and phrases and inspirational type stories, I guess, to it, and that's what I wanted for this book as well. So I have got a list of stamps that I've used for quotes as well, but I'm just doing the inside cover because you can see when I sort of positioned it and I'm thinking, well, this is a bit stark on the background, so I'm just going to make the background the same as what I have the front, and I'll apply some blue afterwards instead of beforehand. And then I actually get out a piece of resin paper, a piece of calico, and a piece of book's text, just to put in there, just to add a focal, I suppose. Not really a focal, just to break it up a little bit and make it look a little bit prettier, if I'm allowed to say that. Pretty, but still grungy and random. So then I just get out it's just a liquid text heavy body medium, gel medium. Stick the first cover side down, and I just clipped it in there just to add some strength to it as well. And then I do the same thing with the back page with the book text, the layer of calico, and then the piece of resin paper, which is just a dress pattern, and then stick the back cover on. So realistically, the whole book is pretty quick unless you add stitching, and then that takes a lot of thought effort, if that makes sense. So there we go. So I've got them, and now I'm going to add in all these quotes. So this page is "There is a universe inside you." All the links to all the stamps will of course be on the blog post, as well as in the description box below. The next page is "She flies with her own wings," but it's actually in French, but I have no idea how to pronounce it because, yeah, no clue. Next one is "Let fear be your compass. If it scares you, then move forward," which is a Kat Kerr quote. A lot of the quotes are actually from Kat Kerr ones as well. And then this one is "I'm afraid to move, but I'm taking the step anyway." And then again, I'm just repeating the "You are beautiful" one. Some of these I don't stamp perfectly, which I think adds to it, just adds a little bit of fun to it. And then the last page is "Until further notice, celebrate everything," which is what I wanted this to be about, this little book. Just a little pocket that, it can be a perfect gift for somebody just to remind them. So the whole thing, I think the actual cover itself is a 4 by 5 inches, so each individual page is, I think it's 3 by 4. So it's not very big at all, so just a little bit bigger than an ATC card, basically. So then I'm going through here now, and I'm just adding a bit of blue, watered down blue ink randomly, well, kind of randomly, to each of the page, just to tie the blue in everywhere. And I think it just adds that little bit extra to it, and I absolutely love this book. I think it's turned out fantastic. Even all the stitching threads that hang down and above the top, and all the randomness of it, but it was thought of as well. And that is pretty much it, guys. So I will leave you with some close-ups, and And as I said, all the stamps that I've used, so I have used a lot, will all be in the description box and at the blog. So yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time, bye.